episode we on? 21.
Well, remember we lost that one, you see, so really it's 20. It's the 20th.
But we've still done.
Aye, but we can't call this 20. We've started now. We can't call this episode 21 since we never put one of them out. So this is the 20th episode. People will see.
But
I know we recorded one and lost it. I'm not going to fucking open that can of worms again.
No. But I thought we counted last week. The last one is so the last.
No, that was 19 because the number's on the episode name. So we went from
right,
18 to 19. Imagine an episode of something. Name a program. Stars in their eyes. Went out, and then it was like this week episode 902.
Aye,
and then they had to lose an episode because somebody get cancelled, and then next week 904. No, we're not having that.
What about like Coronation Street? What episode you think they're on?
9 million, 8 billion, and 4 trillion.
I was going to binge watch the whole of Coronation Street ones.
My mum pretty much does that. Like during lockdown, they started showing old ones for like, I don't know, 80s, 90s. They didn't start for the very start, but
it was 1960 odd, wasn't it?
Aye, but they started showing ones for the 90s during lockdown, like 3 episodes a day, and my mum records them all, and she's like catching up.
I mean, I had to gear them up. I know we'll start in a minute.
I had to gear up with Coronation Street.
No, man. I did, man, because I think, see, humans, right? We need. What's the word I'm looking for? You need stories to finish. You know, you need closure and things. Now that's how we're all fucked up. We need closure and shit. And imagine like dying and you don't know who shot Phil Mitchell. Imagine you're lying in your deathbed and you don't care about something that happened years ago. You finish on just the night before you get to hospital for the last time. There's a mad cliffhanger in EastEnders, and you're dying, going, "Oh, I know what happened." That would there'd be hundreds of millions of cunts in heaven, not knowing.
Surely, giant, you can still watch. If you believe in a heaven, giant, you can still watch telly.
Well, people fucking. This is started different. We're going to talk about job. Well, they must stay. I think they're on Facebook. You can see the amount of cunts that say "Happy Heavenly Birthday" to their granny and all that. And
I like when people like somebody starts using their dead relatives' Facebook. That's always a laugh.
On they gone their dead relatives' Facebook.
Aye, like there's a thing of it that you can like, if somebody dies, you can get in. You can like leave a password for them to get in, and you can sort of immortalise it, and it turns into like a memorial page.
All right,
but some people just like they've left the dead person's left it logged in, and then like their husband or their whatever,
I just starts using
it, but posting it just, and then if you either you don't know they've died or maybe it's been ages ago, and you just occasionally see this person posting something, you're like, oh.
You know what you could do, but let's see if you know you're dying. Like we're all dying, but. I don't know when, but you know, if you know you've got like weeks to live or something like that, you can actually. There's like I'm not sure how you could do it. You could set up posts.
Like schedule posts.
You can schedule posts. So you can actually schedule posts for the next 10 years and freak people out. Come on, like the day I was the devil's a bastard. Like that was 2 years I've been screaming and getting like pins in my eyeballs. That please help.
I had an idea a few years ago that I want to record a video. Probably quite soon.
You die? You alright?
No, but just for when I eventually do, I want to record a video to be played at my funeral.
Alright, what's it going to be?
Well, I've not written the material yet, but I just like a wee thing like, alright everyone, thanks for coming, and then be like, oh, never thought I'd see you here.
I know, you're a cunt. Look at you there pretending you liked me, you fucking two-faced cunt. You can just do all your tell people exactly what you thought of them.
Aye, like a roast from beyond the grave.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. I want to do that now, but then that means I've stole your idea.
We'll record them in here. We'll just do episodes of the podcast. We'll just not release these until after we die, and then I'll schedule them.
But the thing is, I'll probably die before you because I'm older, and then you'll see me do the roast. Everybody go, "You're material thieving cunt."
You're fitter. Every chance we could go at the same time.
Maybe I'm not that fit now, man. I'm getting fitter. I'm trying to get fit.
How goes It's been exactly a week since we started the weight loss.
Well, I kind of started about 3 weeks ago.
Well, I was about 2 weeks, but since we kind of talked about it. So
I've actually done alright. I've went for 13 stone 8, which probably isn't that heavy, but and I'm now at 13.3. I think the last time I went, so I've lost about £5.
Not bad, I think.
And I've let myself go a wee bit. I've had a few days where I've just went nom 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 like the Cookie Monster.
Fair enough.
But I've done alright. I've been keeping it steady. I've not been when I've had a mad day like that. Next day I've ate less, so I've kind of I've been conscious.
You can balance it out. Let's see what I'm at. I'm down since I started watching myself, £7.8.
Okay, well done, mate. Over 2 weeks?
That was from a wee bit more, kind of end of April.
Aye, that's good.
And then since, what was it, last Wednesday we talked about it?
Aye.
Since then I'm down exactly £2. So
That's
£2 a week, that's kind of what I'm aiming for.
Aye, £2 a week's healthy, innit? You could go mad. I've been doing a bit of juicing.
Juicing? Like steroids?
Who's going to carry the bolts?
Who's going to carry the ball?
Aye, no, juicing, like vegetable juice, vegetable and fruit juice.
Interesting.
And I done it, you know what, I don't know if we spoke about this before, did we? I've got a juicer. Somebody gave me a juicer years ago. Basically, like put carrots in and juices it.
Is that one of the ones you get, like, it pours out the juice and then you also get a big pile of shite?
Aye,
like
get a big pile of fucking pulp and all that. You got all the shit that comes out of it. So I do that. Do you know what? I'm trying to do like what's called a juice fast, where you do it for like 7 days.
Aye, I've seen stuff about that.
And you know what? Like I've done it before, and then now I'm kind of trying to do it, but I keep slipping up. I'm drinking juice most days, but then having other stuff as well. But you know what? See the juicing. Like I put like. Well, what did I do yesterday? Yesterday's, I try to reduce the amount. Try to do like more vegetables.
Reduce.
Try to put more vegetables and fruit. But sometimes I just, like yesterday I had carrot, apple, orange, pineapple,
right,
and a wee bit of lemon. I drank that, and a lot of the time I put loads of kale, spinach.
Oh, you can put like a barrel of kale in, and it all reduces down to like.
Aye,
that,
so you put kale in it, and see the green stuff. Like I put kale, spinach, stuff like lemon, or ginger gives it a wee bite. Some apples. Have you put stuff
turmeric?
Aye, so no, well, so if you put like all loads of green stuff, a wee bit of lime and a wee bit of what did I say there? Ginger, which works. And you know what? It's the taste isn't great. It's no bad if you get the right amount of fruit in it. But see after a couple of days when I've done it before, you get this fucking buzz, man. It's brilliant.
Aye.
You actually feel really good. It's like you feel kind of your kind of brain fogs away, and you just feel clear.
It's like a good detox thing, doesn't it? I think it helps get rid of all sorts of toxins. From what I've heard, I've never done it.
I don't know the full science of it, but just for me, when I used to, like, I stopped drinking Red Bull about 3 years ago.
Right.
Like, I just stopped because I was drinking too much when I was out driving, like 3 a day, and you start to rattle. And but see, drinking juice, it gives you this steady kind of calmness, but energy. You kind of get this energy. You just feel. It's good for mental clarity.
I don't know if I could do a proper stringent week on it without eating.
Well, it's it's worth it. Try it. Have you got it? You should get yourself a juicer.
I think my mum's got one.
It's not a blender, a juicer. There's a difference. So a blender just blends up fruit, which is nice and all, but juicers, it's really good, man. And it's worth doing.
We'll look into it, but I'm doing quite well as well.
Basically
just calorie counting and then trying to burn a few extras when I can.
Aye.
As I was telling you before we started, I was working in Belfast over the last couple of days. The last time I went over, I was working during the day, so that's when I went to that comedy club at night.
That's right.
Managed to
good gig.
Get to that. That was a good gig, but I was working nights this time, so I was only kind of free during the day on Tuesday. Was it
Belfast?
Aye. So I found a gym just near my hotel. There wasn't one in my hotel because it was like just a Premier Inn I was staying in, but I found a big kind of leisure centre just up the hill, and I went in. And I was like, I'm no member, but any chance I can get like a day pass or something? So I'm in charge, I don't know, 10 or whatever.
That's you got, and why most of them do that.
But the guy was just like, oh, you just, because he could hear my accent, he was like, oh, you just over for the couple of days or whatever? And I was like, I'm just working, staying in the hotel down the road. And he was just like, just morning, did he charge me? Just let me go to the gym.
With it.
Aye, so I got a good wee workout in it was yesterday, and then, so I done like 45 minutes
on your thing?
On my cross trainer. And then I came out, went and got a coffee, and then the sort of car park for this big gym was shared by like a big park. So it was like a kind of big walled garden bit. So I went a wee walk around that. Not normally a garden-y kind of guy, but it was actually very nice and relaxing. Nice weather.
Garden, man. Doesn't he take away your masculinity?
No.
Being in a garden.
It was lovely big hedges that go where you're heading.
I'm still, fuck gardens. I like football and darts and that.
I don't like football or darts, but
I was just still trying to get your masculinity back.
I'm not ashamed that I went for a walk in a garden.
Right,
I had a nice wee walk around this garden, then there was a kind of wooded bit, and then that led up to like a wee castle.
Aye.
And I wandered about there and did like a good wee kind of 3 or 4K walk.
Aye.
So That's.
I know how is that? How is that? I was saying that's unmanly, but how's that unmanly? Is it just that? Where did that
Just
come
walking.
from?
Imagine walking.
Imagine walking in a garden. I remember being younger. Like I was younger, right? And I remember like I was good at with a girl, right? Unbelievable, right? And I just like I was staying with my mum and dad, but I took her like I just went. The dog was doing a walk. Rusty, the dog, dead now, right? Rusty's dead. We went out for a walk with this dog, and I was in my local pub the following week, and some guy was slagging me off. He was saying, I seen you out with your woman. And saying I was holding hands and all that. He says, I seen you walking with your dog with your girlfriend holding hands, you poof. I was like, so just that kind of mentality. It was like that.
Right.
It's just the things that people think is gay. And it was like, no.
Classic. That's a pure like Andrew Tate. Like, you don't go and walk in a garden.
I know.
He's not Irish. He's that weird sort of.
Is it Lithuanian or Romanian?
He's of like Romanian descent, but he's actually English, but has a bit of sort of American
Fucked up accent. Aye. He's on next week. He's coming down.
He'd fit in with some of the past guests.
Aye. So anyway,
I was looking for a button to describe these kind of people.
Fucking arseholes, man.
Was that Lemmy? Right, so I think what we were saying, I think we've nearly episode 20, is it?
Episode 20. That's
yes.
the Murray episode count. He's a big fan of the. What episode is it, Chris?
Oh, yeah, episode 20 Murray for Murray, right? And I said, like, I think it's good if we do just us to have like a subject. It doesn't matter. What was that? I said noises.
Did I say movement?
I said movement out there.
Maybe Ainsley's home.
Ainsley, she's no for coming in, is she? She's a bit scared.
Yeah, she might.
All right, come in. Because she said we're going to do like the
we're going to do like a spicy wing
episode.
Like
she's going to make them, isn't she? So I'm going to talk about jobs, I think, maybe.
Apparently so. You've got far more jobular experience than me.
I know. I mean, that's like because it fits in with the fuck it list idea. Because one of the reasons the fuck it list appeals to me is getting out of your comfort zone, which I'm still fighting with. By the way, there's still the controlling mechanisms in the world are holding me back a wee bit. The wee voices in society and all that. And I hate fucking working, man. You know how the whole kind of programming, or however you call it, society programming always says. People boasting saying he was a hard worker and all that, and I'm going
some grafter.
Is a Scottish thing, a British thing, saying that some grafter.
There's a lot. I saw something like a picture the other day of somebody like posted a picture of their pay slip, like not other fucking details or whatever. It's not like somebody I knew. It was just a meme thing that was going around, and it was like hours worked 99.
Aye.
For the week, and they were like pure boasting about it.
I know.
Like,
fuck that.
Like that's not something to boast about. I'd be more impressed if you had 99 hours with like your family or to do something that you were actually passionate about.
Because nobody gets to the end of their life and goes like, I was some grafter, wasn't I? All that overtime I done when I was fucking working in the co-op or the gist.
No, that idea of like working your life away for the sake of maybe 2 holidays a year.
Oh,
that's what you're working.
Man.
That's what you're working.
Hell, man,
towards.
it fucking terrifies me. And that's the reason I counted right, and I've had at least 35 jobs.
Right.
So
I've had 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had 4 jobs.
So what's your 4 jobs? I know you don't like talking about the last one to the public.
I'll do. So the first one was as the warehouse.
Right.
Then just warehouse.
All right. So I met you in your second ever job.
Aye. So 50% of my jobs have been
so
warehouse
I was at my 33rd at that
point. My third one, I was a sort of kind of. Yeah, well, we don't talk about that one. That was a side hustle.
Right.
No.
I got my first bag of heroin off of Chris. What a fuck it that was.
I was doing like CCTV and security alarms and stuff.
All right.
Was like
installing them.
Aye.
All right. That's all right. That seems all right.
That was like meant to be an apprenticeship, but it didn't really go the way of actually getting a real apprenticeship into college. I just kind of. Well, I was at college staying.
So was that after Gist then?
Aye.
So when did you finish Gist? Is that? I remember. It only sounds like a couple of years ago, but it's probably 5 or something, isn't it?
No, it's longer than that. I've been in my job for 6.
Fuck's sake, man.
My last job that we don't
Is
talk
that
about.
how long?
And I did other stuff. So that would have been, what, 20... so I left college in 2015 and went straight to Asda I think 2016 I would have been in just around about then.
Really?
For
Fucking
8
hell,
year.
man. Fucking hell. That's just that just seems like yesterday, man. That's fucking mad.
Every day in the warehouse seemed like the same day.
The I've always thought, like, see if you want to live longer, or you know, the theory of relativity. Because time is just like an illusion, apparently, right? I don't know, right?
A human construct.
Do you know what? So, see if you want to live longer, or you want to imagine that you live forever. Just spend all your time working for that last 15 minutes before a shift finishes.
You're checking the clock.
That's when time goes as long as fucking it. It's like 4:45 for like 3 hours.
Or if you're on the treadmill and you're on like that last 5 minutes and it's counting down.
I know. Aye.
I know exactly what you mean, especially in the warehouse when you're like every lap you walk around and you'll glance up at the clock and you're like, if anything, that's going backwards.
There was one day, right, I remember, like, I worked at OKI, one of my jobs. That was about job 22 or something. Fucking hell. That's what's the Snickers joke for you last week on the marathon, man. Right. OKI, right. Set up a button for that. I worked at OKI and it was a factory, right? So just fucking doing the same movement.
What did they do in there? And I remember it being there, and it was quite I remember like hearing a lot of people that worked in there, but I never actually knew what was in it.
They did like printing and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, for your next giggy that you work on, right? So they done printers, and it was just repetitive. I remember one guy, was a wee guy I worked with, wee guy in a wheelchair. Which is irrelevant, but he just did. He was in a wheelchair, and I worked with him. And he was like, we were working across each other. He was a good wee guy, I had a good laugh with him. And I could see the clock. I could see the clock. So it started at 8 in the morning, 8:15 to about 2:15, I think it was.
Right.
Something like that. Or 7:15. And for a full day, I tell them the time every 10 minutes. I was like, that's 8:25, mate. All right. That's 10:30. Fucking lost the plot, and they went on a shooting spree and killed everybody that day. So that's how
that
OKI,
guy.
that's how OKI closed.
The famous OKI wheelchair shooter. Shooter. Fuck that, didn't I?
I told him the time every 10 minutes. It wasn't happy.
I do remember a very occasional shift in the warehouse where you would just sort of get in a zone and forget to check the time. And sort of the next thing you know, you've just come off one break and then you're right on to the next. I loved that.
Aye.
It happened maybe 5 times in the 2 years that I worked in warehouses, but they were pleasant days.
I know, the rest of the time you're all about your face. So I've had my first job was B&Q.
B&Q, just like a general customer service.
General customer service guy.
Aye.
And
did you have the orange apron?
Aye, no. When I first started, I had overalls on.
Overalls.
They gave us overalls. So it looked like fucking
like people, American inmates.
Aye, that's what like. It was actually like we're getting in there and people are fucking. They were like inmates that were just broke in to get a job. My first job, I was 16. I was still at school as well. I get paid £2.15 an hour.
Right.
£2.15 an hour. And I was working like something like 16 hours a week when I was 16, 17. So I used to, like, when I got to 17, I think I was using that to go out at the weekend.
Aye. The cost of living was less back then.
Oh, aye, of course it was, man. It was like the first pint I bought was like £1.04. I sound old as fuck, man.
£1.04?
£1.04 pence. It's the first pint I bought the nights in Moody's Burn.
I can only imagine a £1.04 pint.
£1.04 pence, man. You could get me £10. That's fucking mad, isn't it?
Steaming on a tenner and get yourself a fish supper on the way home.
Aye. So being cute, and do you know what? £2.15, and there was a squad for Moody's Burn there, and they used to expect us to chase shoplifters,
right?
Because they had, like, I don't know if I've ever worked the B&Q, right? I'm asking that. It's just money. Big John, I think, for the other Bernie, I think, is that? They used to, like, they had. You ever heard, like, when you're in B&Q, they say customer service, they say a number, or they used to do that.
Probably, aye.
So there used to be like so if the customer service 50 to the paint aisle,
right?
That meant there was somebody that looked a bit shifty. That's what it meant, right? So I remember 3 of the customer service numbers. The customer service 50 meant there was a dodgy looking character, and this was in Hugginfield.
Aye.
which is like next to Black Hill, is where a lot of gangsters were through. Like Arthur Thompson and shit was like, oh, the.
Can I be having Arthur in the painting?
No, he actually get. I'll tell you what happened in a minute, right? So you get like a lot of kind of drug users and stuff who come in and steal shit, B&Q.
Right.
So customer service 50 going, that wee guy's in, he's been stealing before, keep an eye on him. Customer service 100 meant there's somebody running through the checkouts with stuff, run after them.
Right.
And that was a shite bag.
Was this just out? Was this like over the thingy to every staff member? They wanted a crowd to go after him.
Basically. So the guys get out and one day I was like, fuck that. I was 16. I was a wee shite bag. I couldn't even make eye contact with females, and I wanted to chase some fucking gangster for Black Hill because he stole a screwdriver.
God forbid it be a female gangster. Excuse me.
I was fucking riddled with plucks and all that. But I remember one day, right, I was like, fuck it, I get caught up in the slipstream, right? And I went round and I was chasing, but I was probably faster than most people because I was always into running.
Aye.
So I could have probably outrun them. But when there was a gang chasing somebody with a knife, I'm like, oh, my asthma's back, because I had asthma as I went going, I need an inhaler. I was slow as fuck. But I remember one day we chased people up to somebody up to a graveyard, and we get in. And there was hundreds of cunts here.
They nicked like a shovel to start digging up a body or something?
There was hundreds, no, it was zombies. but they ran in there and I shit myself. But it was lucky because it was basically loads of the other guys who'd been queuing in the other way. So they caught them. But I fucking bottled it, man. I was
proper police tactics there.
Aye. It was just nuts, man. I went, like, you're like 17 and the managers are saying, go and chase shoplifters. That wouldn't be allowed these days, would it?
Well, it might be expected of some, but I think everyone would just be like, I don't get paid for that.
Aye, fuck that, man. And we get threatened. Like, we used to go and waiting for a bus, and some of the people would would get caught shoplifting. We'd walk by, and if there's a gang of them, I think some of the guys got punched one night. I wasn't there, luckily.
I didn't realise the B&Q staff were such a target.
I think there was one night there was a squad there, and luckily the bus came just in time. I was like, fucking hell, man, it was crazy. And then there was a time where there's like a gangster. I don't know what there was a gangster that stayed up that way, right? I actually got caught shoplifting, right, and I won't mention his name because he might get the bother. Right, he's well known. And so this was years ago. And it wasn't me. Somebody else caught them shoplifting.
But this isn't the name that you've already said, is it?
No, I might not have been. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh, well, it's not getting bleeped. Fuck
I bleep it. Right, but I guess they get caught shoplifting, and one of the guys that caught him, because I realised who it was, and I went, oh shit. But the guy says, no, it's alright, son, just you do your job. So I reckon whatever happened, he get caught deliberately because there's be something else going on somewhere else.
Oh, so it was a distraction.
So it was like an alibi. So he's like, no, I get caught stealing sandpaper, so I didn't do that other thing that was happening. So that's what happened. Aye, so
fascinating.
So it was one of my mates there at the time, and he caught him, and they heard the name and went, oh fuck, I've heard of this cunt, like, shit yourself. I went, listen, you can go if you want. No, just do your job, son.
It sounds a lot more exciting than my first job. There wasn't really much drama in the Asda warehouse.
It was as bad as Just.
It was actually worse.
Was it?
Like, just full of, if you could believe it, more cunts. I don't know if it's just because I was in Falkirk. No offence to Falkirk, but there's some.
Oh, that's. I reckon we've at least got 2 followers in Falkirk.
I can't even think of a story. Oh, they used to do like random. You'd stop you for like a random drug and alcohol test.
Aye, see they piss in a cup.
Well, I never got it. I don't know how they done it, but there was that. They could do a vehicle check.
Right.
Don't know why.
In case he was stealing stuff, maybe.
Maybe, but they would like. I got it once, and it was like in the morning when I'd first come in. So it's not good. Like, I don't know what they're looking for, right? But the guy came out to my car. I had a bright blue Fiat Panda at the time. Like, see that colour of blue, that light.
Right.
show
them.
That was my first car. It was like this. In fact, I'll put a picture of the car up on the screen. No, I've not got time. This needs to be edited. Fuck you. So the guy came out. He was like, right, Chris, before you start, you're hit for the random vehicle check. I was like, all right, what are you checking for? He was just like, just in case you're getting inappropriate at work. And I'm like,
like a big pink dildo.
My car's in the car park. I'm in work. I'm not trying to be defensive because I've not got it. Come and have a look. It seems like a waste of time, so I can go in and do work.
Well, there's stuffed hedgehogs or something.
I don't know, right? But I'd been gigging like the night before, or like a couple of nights before, or whatever. So I still had some of my gigging stuff in the car.
Aye.
I didn't have a guitar or anything too expensive, but maybe I had like a gig bag with some mic stands hanging out it.
Aye.
And it was a country gig, so I had a pair of cowboy boots and a cowboy hat sitting in the boot. And the guy just
shaking on here, man.
and the guy just opened the boot, saw my boots and cowboy hat, and went, right, I think we're done here.
Like, you do you, son. If you're into your cowboy boots and big pink dildo, you can do your thing.
That's it. I don't know what I was expecting to find, but that was about as exciting as the Asda warehouse got.
Aye. And like your second job, you worked with me, man. That's mental, isn't it?
I did.
So that was like that's when we kind of met in the Gist warehouse. Like, it's good, like we can say that now, because I wasn't allowed to do that, say it when I worked there, because I was doing some videos on it.
Aye.
I got into trouble.
I remember. I'm trying to think of some of the other characters. Won't name folk, but there's the guy that we spoke about that you want to write a song about.
Oh, aye. Aye, the wee guy that was happy as fuck all day, right? And I just all day, man. He was a nice wee guy, but holy shit, he's.
I mean, you get folk that are sort of in a generally good mood all the time, but not all the time. Do you know what I mean? You might come into work being like, "All right, how you doing?" That's about as good as you'll get. He'd come in every day, just like, "All right, tips, here we go."
I wasn't quite. It was just. It was like Ned Flanders, wasn't he? It was like it was exactly like Ned Flanders. He's the kind of a guy you could actually. I reckon that wee guy you could get like kick his cunt in the car park and it'd be all right. He was like, he'd be like, hey, good you get that out your system. I hope you're better. I mean, it's better than out than that. You could kick his cunt in and he'd buy you an ice cream.
Aye,
wouldn't he?
You could try that.
And it was like, and I guess in the warehouse, and I mean, I've got a wee bit of material on him and in the warehouse, like, I quite enjoyed hating it. I mean,
there wasn't really any option, really.
Because I was actually, I was scared of, right, part of the, I was scared of enjoying a job in case, like, I needed that fucking hatred of a job.
In case you found yourself 20 years later
just
having done it, nothing
I needed
else.
that hatred of it, because if I started liking it, I'd go, I might just stay here now. I think I needed to hate it to want to get away from it.
Aye. Have you ever worked in a call centre?
Oh fuck! Oh man, that's the worst job in the world. Aye, that's one of my 35. I worked for Sky.
Aye. I've luckily never had like a proper like public facing customer.
Oh, I've done
job. Do you know
them,
what I mean? Like when I was doing the alarms and stuff, I was in and out of like sometimes it was like people's houses we were doing alarms and CCTV. Sometimes it was like bigger businesses like industrial buildings. So in that sense, I would talk to customers.
Aye. But
not like members of the public, like they're coming into your shop or they're phoning you or something. Which is good, because I kind of think of anything worse than dealing with general
I've worked
public.
with Curry's before, but the call centre was a fucking nightmare, because I was working with this customer service, so it's mostly complaints.
Aye.
And see that I was only there like a month or something. I finished, right? Used to play a golf tournament every year called the Fuck Up. Right, there's just a load of guys. It was a load of guys who called Scythe and Moody's one that's called the Fuck Up, and it was just basically we all went away in a big bus about 30 years.
Aye.
We'd go away and play golf for a full day, get pissed, end up back in the pub, brilliant day out. And one day it was coming up, and I was meant to be working. I was like, fuck this, I'll phone in sick, and I just didn't go back. Just after I was out playing, I hated it. It was stressful, man. It was like I just like you're on the phone 9 hours a day. And they time your breaks and all that, and it's like, and I'm not very good on the phone. Like I'm a texter.
Aye.
So let's see if somebody phones me. I don't know. It's a fear. I don't know what it is.
No, I'm like that.
When somebody phones me, I'll go. I'll see it ringing, and I'll go fuck. And I just don't answer it, and then send them a text message instead.
Aye. Especially for work stuff. Even it's like the people I work with every day, they're just phoning to be like, "Oh, Chris, can you do this?" They're just talking to folk on the phone. I'm a bit like,
Aye, I send me a message, a weirdo. And doing a video call's worse. You see a video call come out, fuck that.
No for me.
I'm in the bath.
What's your least? I know you didn't like any of these jobs really, but what's your least favourite one and what's your favourite one?
Well, see, I'm talking about the call centre, right? I'll mention the call centre first, but then I'll do my least favourite one. The call centre, it was stressful because it was constantly, and I guess for the first month, when you work a job like that, you've got a lot to learn, and you kind of are learning the job. So a lot of the time, people are asking me things I didn't know. So you need to put them on hold, put your hand up, and they'll start losing the plot. And I genuinely didn't know. They start abusing you and giving you shit.
Yeah.
So that was stressful. But there was one time, right enough, that there was a reverend phoned up.
Right.
So as you phone up, you get their customer details. It was like Reverend Smith. And it's like, hello there, Mr. I was saying Mr. O'Brien doesn't know me. I'll just assume he's like, hello there, I'd like to complain about my bill. I'm just assuming he's Irish. It might not be Irish. It was Reverend, it's probably right. It'd be the priest if he was Irish, I'd imagine, wouldn't he? So he says, I don't know, my bill's a bit over, more than usual. I went, okay, Reverend Smith, I'll have a look at it for you. And I had a look, and I went, oh, right, Reverend Smith, I just looked at your account, and there's a few adult movies on your account. And I went, no, that's definitely not me.
Wouldn't it be me?
It wouldn't be me. I'm a man of God, and the only other person in this household is my teenage son. And I just went, well, I don't want to point any fingers. And just the guy kind of went, so he's got a teenager son who's obviously been going on the porn channels. And
I did apply for a call centre job.
Don't do it, man.
Once, and I got an interview. So I went. First stage of the interview was basically a maths test.
All right.
Which was fine, and then they took me in, had an interview, and then you had to do a sort of mock phone call type thing.
Aye.
And even in the context of it just being a mock phone call, just sitting with a guy like this, that phone call fear came over me.
Oh, fuck, it's terrifying, man.
And I just sort of froze. And then it was like, right, thanks for coming. And that was that.
I know, I did go for an interview for another call centre. It was for sales this time, and it was similar, but I never got that job either.
Right, so what's your
worst?
Your best and worst?
Right, I've not really got a best out of day jobs. Well, wait a minute, right.
You need to pick one. That's the rules of the game.
So best one's probably like so I'm not allowed in comedy, because comedy is a job, which is obviously my best one.
I mean all the other jobs you've done.
So comedy is as a job, but it's not really a job. It's something that I want to do.
Yeah.
So my best job's probably Just Eat.
Right.
Because I'm doing it now, and just because it's like, and it's because it's flexible. I can work whenever I want, and there's no pressure at all.
Aye, I like
the money's alright, although it's shite sometimes, but I can work whenever I want. I can do loads of hours if I want, and if I get pissed off, I just go home.
I like that you can, just work for a few hours. Like, I like when it was like the agency for the warehouse, you can phone up and be like, can I get a shift? But then you go in and you're in that for fucking 8 hours or whatever. And sometimes they'll ask you to stay on. You don't need to, but they'll ask you to. Whereas at least with yours, I like the idea of, you can start at whatever time.
Aye.
And choose to do like a mad 12-hour one, or just do a few hours here and there if you want.
Aye, because I can go out and, like, for work, was constantly for 2 or 3 weeks, get a few quid in the bank and do fuck all.
Aye.
And it's handy for this because I'm working mostly in Cumbernauld now. Mm-hmm. So if you're free for a podcast, I could go out and work, then I'm just about the street somewhere. Aye. So I think, let me think, what other ones is there? So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed a stock taking job I had years ago.
Just counting shit.
So it was Woolworths, and I was in my kind of...
Woolworths? Did you fuck up?
That's why they're gone? So it wasn't just... so I think it was the amount of thieving that went on, like the amount of guys. I never touched time, but there's loads of guys stealing all sorts in there. So it was like stuff like Woolworths, Asda. We've done Asda, we've done Jeanster, which doesn't exist anymore. Like loads of retail shops. Mm-hmm. And the thing I loved about it, I was in my early mid-20s, I think, and it was good because we travelled about and we put up in hotels. And when you're young, I was young, single as fuck, and it was just, we got to see a bit of the country. And we went to Germany to do it a few times as well, so it was just good that way.
I used to like the idea of travelling about and seeing a bit of the country until it became my whole life.
I suppose it's different with you now.
I still like to do it in a sense of, like, if I was a full-time musician and touring and travelling about and doing it in that sense, but just the way I'm doing it and what I'm doing when I'm there.
I know. Because I love it with comedy, travelling about. I love that, get to travel about.
Aye, same kind of idea in it. But.
Aye, I've actually took a last minute gig in Manchester on Monday.
All right.
It's the Gong Show, the Frog and Bucket Gong Show.
All right.
Because I'm starting to get more gigs down south, so I'm kind of I'm headlining for a guy in Nottingham for the second time coming up.
Oh, you done that?
Carl's giving me a few gigs down Newcastle way.
Cool.
So the Frog and Bucket, they're in Manchester, so I want to get down and do the Gong Show, try and get in with them as well.
What's it called? Beat the Frog.
Beat the Frog, aye. So I'll go down and do that on Monday.
Do you know who's hosting that? It used to be Dan Nightingale, but he's
I'm not sure. You can Google it. You don't get your laptop.
got a telephone.
Aye,
On the wall.
doesn't matter. So I'm going out to do that. So that was my what was that my least? No, I haven't said the least favourite job ever.
You said Just Eat was probably your favourite.
Aye, I think so. I'll try and think what else. So one job I thought was all right. There was a job I done where I discovered. Do you know how you sometimes you get like mentality? You decide you're bad at something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be like a childhood thing. I was always told I was shite at football, therefore I was always shite at football.
So was I, but I was just shite at football.
Aye, but if you went out and played a lot, you'd have got better at it. Because in my 20s, I started playing a lot of five-a-sides and I got alright at football.
Aye. I just never had any interest, but there's some stuff.
So I always had this thing, right, and it's for comedy as well, that I was shit at selling sales.
Aye.
Like couldn't sell it myself, which is just like a... And I don't believe it. I believe it's just like a lack of... I haven't learned the right skill set.
Yeah.
So I'd done and I learned this a lot. I'd done a sales job years ago, and it was like in-store demonstrator.
Oh, was this the cloths?
Aye.
And home base, was it?
Home base. And the only problem with it, I didn't have a car at the time, so I was getting buses all over the place. And basically what I was doing like a wee 5-10 minute demonstration of these wee cloths. I'd learned this script.
Yeah.
And because I could work with a crowd, you get a crowd round you.
I suppose it played into kind
Aye.
of your performing experience.
But I got into trouble for being too funny once because people say they don't take it seriously because it's a sales thing. So I had to rein that in a wee bit.
I'd be far more inclined to buy something off of somebody that was having a laugh with something.
But the guy made a good point because he knew I was a good performer, and I did experiment with it, where I could be dead funny. Like if I had a crowd there, I'd make them laugh. But the thing is, I'd go away going, cheers, that was funny, mate. But they didn't take it because the problem is they didn't take it serious enough.
I could take a wee mix. I wouldn't be expecting like a comedy set.
Aye, that's what I mean.
But a wee bit of lightheartedness to get them on side. And
so it's like a wee bit like remember I mentioned the bucket speech at the end of a gig.
Aye.
That was like kind of not serious but more transactional.
Yeah.
So a wee bit of going, this is how good this thing is. By the way, showing them it's a bit of seriousness with a bit of fun. If it was all, hey, look at this, more, hey,
Krusty the Clown.
Krusty the Clown. Aye. So it's a good balance of that. So I learned I could be good at sales. There was one day I remember there was a big crowd and I sold it with 15.
I was picturing you like on stage at Glastonbury doing a cloth demonstration there.
And I sold it with 50. I think I was getting like £4 or £5 commission for every one I sold.
How much was a cloth?
I think it was like you get 2 packs of them plus a free mop. The mop was shite. Free mop for I think it was 20 quid or something like that. So I get £4 or £5 commission for every one I sold. So if I sold like 10, 15, that's like
no catch me buying a £20 pack of.
But it's 2 packs. But it's a super absorbent cloth. But
he's doing it.
Fucking
did the
hell,
demonstration go?
So you used to spill Diet Coke and all that. But I was good at that. I discovered that I learned. I worked out that you can learn a skill. So for something you think you're shite at, you can learn to get good at it.
Aye.
So there's a lot of things that people think they is like a natural ability, which isn't.
Well, it's probably some of it's a bit kind of inherent. You probably
Possibly,
get guys that are a bit more natural at sales and stuff, but that's just a bit more being natural with talking to people.
But that's a skill as well, I reckon.
Aye.
Social skills is a skill. Yeah. Social ability is a skill because I had to learn a lot. Because when I was at school, I was like nervous wreck. I had to read books on how I had to read stuff about how to talk to people years ago. That's how bad I was years ago.
Aye, I've always been alright with like my own crowd, but I'm never good with strangers. But then I would think about that and be like, but how did I get those ones to be my friends? I must have been alright to get a group of people that I am comfortable with.
So I don't know. I think when I was up to about, so maybe up to about 4th or 5th year at high school, I was dead nervous. I couldn't. I mean, I could speak to people, but it was like later on I actually came out my shell, and I fucking hell, I can actually talk to people. I always had that insecurity that people didn't want to talk to me or something. I don't know what it was.
And what age was it you started comedy again? Like 20s?
26 or something.
So about kind of 10 years after that.
Something like that, aye.
It's funny, like within kind of 10 years you went from scared to talk to anyone.
Aye,
to talk on
that's
stage.
mad, isn't it? That was mad. I don't know if that's a common thing, but like, you just kind of. Because I remember at school, there was occasional times we'd done like presentations, and I was actually quite good at it. Although I was dead quiet, I remember done a presentation in school. I made everybody laugh, which I wasn't meant to, but that was like a natural thing that came out.
Aye.
And
I had a wee bit of that. I was always like trying to be the class clown and making folk laugh, and I always did in class, and I liked it. And then I would chase it every time and get myself
chasing that high in it,
and then I'd get myself in bother.
aye. It's a lot of first heroin hit in it.
I've been chasing it ever since.
Aye. So my worst job, Chris. What's my worst job? This is where the PTSD kicks in. Warehouses probably, but one of my worst jobs, I think. All of them. Was I worked in a cat.
You worked in the cat house?
I worked in a cat food factory.
Oh, I can imagine the smell there.
Oh man, that's how I had to get home for a shower the day. The smell was still there. It was out in.
So were you like putting it in the cans, or were you like, how does a cat food factory work?
They make cat food, so it's cat and dog food, and there's no much difference between the two. So it's
just the picture on the packet.
Aye, there was differences, but it was just. It was boring, man. It was like it fucking stank to high heaven. I know it was horrible. One of the worst jobs I got in, it was like there was all these machines, and you see it's all lungs and fucking like liver and all that thing. So the dogs and cats got all the shit that humans don't eat, all the leftovers, and I had to go in one day and like scoop up all the bits that fell off the machines. So it was all this gunja fucking horrible shit, and I was like, I had to dry heave just before my lunch break. So I was like, I genuinely got, now you get that kind of gagging reflex. I
was in my third job doing the CCTV and stuff. I was installing CCTV at a scrapyard in, where was this? Maybe Grangemouth or something like that.
Aye.
And I had to run a cable through like a kind of false ceiling, just ceiling tiles, and run a cable through, and I had to do it through a bathroom, and this was just like the kind of bathroom off the wee staff break area, and there was about 20-30 guys that all sat in a wee cafeteria room, probably about,
what was the place?
Much bigger than this. I can't mind the name of it. It was a scrapyard though.
Oh, scrapyard, right.
And I went into this wee toilet that was shared by like 30 guys working in a scrapyard, and it was, I'm not exaggerating when I say, worse than the toilet in Trainspotting.
Oh no.
It was you're just
so was that
reminding
like
me.
A porta cabin thing or something? No.
Well, it was just like a wee kind of, it was like a wee sort of just a extension bit off of this main building.
The big pile of shite in it and all that.
Aye. But it's the one they used, because I came out it after like it was like, I'm going to need a fucking hazmat suit to be in there for more than 3 seconds to run. I literally just had to go in and like lift a ceiling tile, pull a cable through, chuck it over the other end. That was me.
Was it full of shit and stuff, was it?
Proper, like, bulging out and all, like, leaking down the sides. And then...
Is it like a music festival shitter, basically?
I bet, like, if it... Like, the one at Tea in the Park that had been used every year and then never cleaned in between. And then... When I was in there for maybe 5 minutes doing this cable, and as I came out, the guy was like, "You done in there? I need to go." And I'm like, "You cannot be using that to do a toilet, and you're all going to catch unknown things."
Aye, fucking scabies or something like that, man.
Aye, there was a few weird places like that.
Oh man!
But there was another. We once did CCTV for a woman, like just her house over kind of East Kilbrideway, and it was in quite a big fancy area. Like they were a South Asian family of sorts, right? Don't know if they were Indian or Pakistani or whatever.
Racism's coming out now.
What's racist about saying somebody's nationality?
I'm just assuming.
For goodness sake.
Fucking arsehole.
Yeah, you're just racist for mentioning somebody's nationality.
Yeah, Scottish.
I've been to France once. Racist!
Get to France. So, there was me and the 2 guys I worked with, and like the man of the house was out at work, so it was just the wife. And we got there at like 9 o'clock in the morning, doing a CCTV, and I think we might be doing an alarm as well. And it got to lunchtime, and she was like, "Ashmi, you got your lunch ready?" We were like, "What? Got your lunch ready?" We were like, "Oh, we were going to go up the road to like a wee cafe or a snack bar or something.
Snack bar or something.
And we came out to our dining room, right? We hadn't really been through that side of the house yet, and there was like a table like this, and she had a proper like a buffet laid out.
Fucking hell, man!
And it was incredible, like all like homemade Indian stuff.
Pakora and shit, like curry and all that.
All this stuff she'd made just for scratch. Like that's all she'd spent the morning doing while we were in doing the
fucking hell. That's phenomenal.
Doing the work. So we done that. We had this massive feast, and then had to get back to work, and we're all sitting there like, oh, can I move?
Was it good? Was it? Phenomenal.
Amazing.
And fucking hell, that's service for you, innit?
And then the job kind of went on quite late. I had run into a couple of issues, so we were still there at like maybe 8 o'clock at night. The two other guys were kind of in a cupboard trying to drill a hole in a certain way. There was nothing really for me to do at this point because this was the last thing left to be doing, and you couldn't fit a third person in this wee bit they were in. So I was just kind of standing like watching them and chatting, and she was like, "Come here." And she took me into the kitchen.
I know what happened next.
Don't know. Nothing like that. She took me into the kitchen and she went, "Have you ever made chapatis?" I was like, "No, I've never made chapatis." And she was like, "Mono, I'll show you how to make chapatis." She took me into the kitchen and like got out her wee dough and like showed me how to make chapatis. And then they were all shouting through like, "Guys, going to bring that drill." And I'm like, "Hold on, make that chapati."
That's good. That was fucking nice here, wasn't it?
Oh, aye. I had a few decent customers like that.
Aye, that's good.
If you go to somebody's house and like they offer you a tea or a coffee, you're off to a good start. If they make you a fucking international buffet,
fucking hell, man,
then that was about
it. Did you have your catering card in? I've never had that. So see the cat food factory, right? That's probably like one of the worst jobs, apart from skipping up the gunk, which is fucking horrible.
Did they just skip it right back into the top and
make
stuff?
No, there's bins and all that. It was like I'm genuinely feeling sick thinking about that. And then it was like, oh, lunchtime. Oh, thanks. It was like 12-hour shifts. He done like 12-hour shifts over 4 days. Right. It was a weird shift patterns. But I done different jobs. I worked with a boring guy that was born as fuck for his 12-hour shift, night shift. It was just me and him and this bit pouring powders. Like there's a bit where all the dry stuff goes in. Aye. Like all the big bags. It's like bags of cement but full of kind of powdery type stuff. And the guy was bored as fuck. I'd ask him what he'd done over the weekend and stuff like that. He'd like I cut my grass was the best he'd ever done. It was just bored as fuck. But one of the jobs I got was there's like a conveyor belt where the cat food is coming from one bit to another to get labels on and shit. Right. And
like in tins or something.
Aye, that's what they put them in. So it was in
tins. It's pouches.
Right, fair enough, right. So there was tins on this big conveyor belt coming down the line, going from one bit of the process to the other, and I had to stand like for 12 hours, stand at this fucking bit in the factory and watch them.
What, just in case something happened?
Just in case, like a can was upside down or something like that.
Was this before cameras were invented?
No, because I had to fix them and that. So basically, because it was all automated, but sometimes cans would get stuck. So I had a big stick. If it was up there, I had to poke them and stuff. And it was like just cans coming down. I'd be sitting watching these cans for 12 hours and nothing would happen. I'd start poking them just
for something to happen.
I'd fucking poke them.
And then you go home to bed and shut your eyes. Now you can see his cans coming past.
Oh man, fucking hell.
It was like, I remember when we were in the warehouse, remember on the headset, if you wanted it to repeat, you would say, say again.
Aye.
Or something. There was a guy we used to work with that I went to school with as well. I think he only kind of joined for a wee period over the kind of Christmas time. And like, if you were talking to him outside of work, he was just so in that, he would just be like, say again.
Oh, fucking
you would talk to people the same way you would talk to the machine.
I done that and all. I remember now you had to say, sometimes you had to go, you had to pause it or something. How did you do that? I can't remember
the commands, but...
Suspend, remember you had to suspend? I remember, you had to say, like, why you had to do suspend, like when you were going for a break or something.
So it would like pause your count timer thing.
So you suspend it, you go, because it was basically a headset like that, you spoke into it. So we were basically more cyborgs.
Walking about the warehouse like Britney Spears.
Hit me, baby. So I remember I was playing golf, right? I was playing golf and it was a putt, like a 2-foot putt. It wasn't easy at all. I was nervous. And my mate was watching me, and just before I hit the putt, I went suspend. And my mate went, what? No, shut up, fuck off. And I missed the putt.
Suspend.
I just said suspend. I don't know what I was trying to stop. I was like, right, let's stop the process to hit this pup.
Stop the nerves.
I think that's what it is, trying to stop nerves or something like that.
Oh dear. Is there any, like, say Just Eat sacks you for stealing a chip or something, which you've never done, obviously?
No, I've done that.
What would you do next?
See, if that happened, well, I'd probably just focus on working in the comedy.
Right.
I think because I like.
Do you think you've got, if for whatever reason you can't do another day job, right? Do you think, have you got enough connections and all that in the industry that you could actually just phone and message around and book yourself enough regular gigs for that to be full time?
Definitely, but the money is in. The money is in. What I'm trying to do is the solo shows.
Oh yeah.
So I reckon I could sell enough tickets to solo shows to survive.
So it's just building enough of a following to be able to do that.
Because there was a time I remember, like when I worked in Just, I left Just about 3 times.
Yeah.
I had a fuck it moment. I went fuck it because it was pissing me off, and I went.
He said it.
And I remember I was getting stressed out once, and it was like, I think it was like May or something. I know this was a few years ago. I was quite proud of this, and I was fucking, you know that you get wound up.
Oh,
you're that fucking, because it's just repetitive, the same, and that's what I hate about jobs, repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition. This is, I know what it is, right? It was just getting to me, and I went fuck it, and I was like, I'm leaving this week, and I was like fucking leaving that week.
And you did?
I did, and I just decided what I was going to do. I was just going to get gigs, and I just do gigs in venues randomly, and just do a collection.
Aye.
And I ended up getting a load of gigs. I went through the Beehive in Edinburgh. It was like May or something, and I ended up saying to them, I knew them quite well at the time, the people that worked there. I says, can I gig during the week here, like so many nights a week, and just do my gig? I'll go out and get customers in. They'll buy pints, and so they had the regular gigs on the weekend, but I was like, can I do it during the week? I'll just do it. And I was aye, they went aye, and I was just going there every night, and getting out with my post-it notes.
I just treating it like a festival.
And getting people in, and like some nights I was earning like 100 odd quid. There was other, some nights I earned fuck all, but I managed to, for the whole summer, I managed to earn enough doing that.
Yeah.
That I didn't need to work. I had my normal gigs as well, which was kind of a keep me going. So I had my normal weekend gigs, but I was doing that, and I survived. So I ended up working, not needing a job for about 5 or 6 months, just because I went fuck it, and I managed to do it.
Aye, at least you can prove to yourself that it can be done, and you can do it. You should do like a wee tour or something, like over the summer, like go and just drive to like different cities. And just find pubs that, like, if you've got a back room, can I just use it for a gig tonight?
But what I want to do, what I kind of plan to do this year is, like, I've got the festival. I always do pretty well at the festival. Usually financially I do pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's just 2.5 months away. Mm-hmm. So I actually want to plan a tour.
3 stone away.
3 stone away, fucking right. 2 stone. So I want to plan a tour, maybe September, October, November.
Right.
And actually, like, so if I've got a few quid in the bag at the end of the festival, which I usually do all right. I've got that wee backlog of money. I can go just promote. So I could just focus on promoting myself for 3 months, so that I don't need to work with Just Eat or whatever. And then if I make enough money doing the tour, that then falls onto maybe a following tour for the following year.
Aye. So
it's just getting enough financial backing. And last year, I was a bit pissed off myself last year because I had my biggest run at the festival financially, because I'd done pretty well, and I didn't need to work for about 3 months. So basically, I'd done fuck all for 3 months. Then the money ran out. So rather than using that and trying to push myself,
I just kind of lived on.
So I lived off it and kind of got a bit lazy. I had a few gigs, but I could have spent that time working, writing, promoting myself, and maybe made something so I could plan ahead. I could do that this year.
If August is your kind of biggest time of making money,
you
should try and use that through the year, even if like getting into the summer it starts to run out again, but then you can start preparing for the Fringe and then build it up again.
And just, I could build that, like during the Fringe I could usually get enough to last me a few months. I could use that few months to build up the few months, so that it kind of keeps the money coming in.
It might still be like another few years of a process, but slowly building it each
Aye,
year.
and just doing more social media, and hopefully this might help as well. This thing,
get there. Share with your friends.
Share with your friends, man.
Or
share
people you hate. If you hate this, be like, watch this shite.
I don't say that.
Not a bit.
But see how guys haters are actually good for
getting views.
Getting views.
Aye, that's true.
Because you ever see a video on you see some video on TikTok or Instagram and somebody puts a post up going, why do I keep seeing this shit on my feed?
Aye,
because you hate it, and the fact you're hating it, the algorithm's giving you more of it because you're interacting with it.
Aye, because it's like that sort of watching a car crash, you kind of look away.
Aye. This is shite. Stop showing me this. And there's loads of stuff you like. People are weird. Humans are fucking weird, right? This is true, right? I bet 99% of people don't comment on things they like, but if something they hate. I know people on Facebook who never interact with me, which is fine. Like, you don't need to interact with everybody. The only time certain people interact with you, if you do something they don't like.
Aye, if they disagree.
Aye.
I was like, you see a lot of like pages are like products on Facebook.
Aye.
All the comments will be like complaints about it.
Aye.
Or like you see on, say, maybe reviews on Amazon or something, it will show more negative ones. Because if you buy something and you're happy with it, that's you fine, you've got the good thing. And you tend not to be inclined to leave a comment.
Which is quite sad,
leave a review. But if you get something that you've got a problem with, you're going to go on and be like, this is shite.
Aye. Because the biggest... There's a few years, I get loads of interaction with people that never speak to me on Facebook. Like a few years ago, right? You know what I done? You ever played Wordle?
Oh yeah.
You ever played?
I remember this.
You ever played Wordle, right? And I was like, you just get a mad. The kind of the intrusive voice goes, there. So for about a week, I was like a minute past 12, I was doing Wordle. And I was like 12. Went, tonight's the answer to today's Wordle is chart. And I'd done this for a week, and people started blocking me and all that.
I bet you get loads of engagement though.
I did, but everybody hated me, and I was like, fucking hell, man. And it was like
sometimes being a cunt's funny, innit?
Aye, but I was like fucking. I almost get cancelled for giving out the answer to Wordle every day, and I made sure it was like 12:05 because I came out at midnight.
Oh dear, what an ass!
I know somebody will come and say this is the only. That's what they went. Like I was putting this out. I was pissing myself. I had to stop because I'm sure I was going to end up getting death threats and shit. And somebody says that this is the only pleasure I get every day doing Wordle.
Because it was like during lockdown it came down, wasn't it?
Aye.
Came out. So like
I was like,
that was like the highlight of some people's day.
I was like, well, maybe you should.
Well, the highlight of mine is fucking it up for you.
Maybe you should get a life and go and do something, man.
Not allowed. Not allowed to go out.
The only pleasure I get every day is doing Wordle. And I ruined this guy's life.
Brilliant.
Does he talk to me anymore?
And was it a blooming friendship that was going to turn into something special?
Nah, it was somebody I didn't know that well. I can't even remember who it was, but they weren't happy. I think they blocked me. They probably came to my shows every year, but they just stopped.
Just sat at the back and judged you.
Aye.
Or they would come to one and then they would come to every other one and shout out all the punchlines before.
I've had people do that before.
There was a guy sitting near me when I went to see Connor Burns a few months ago.
Aye.
I don't think he'd even seen it before and shouting the punchlines. It was just like, that way you can sort of tell.
You can sometimes
where a punchline's going. Not in a way, I don't mean it in a way of like, oh, his jokes aren't well constructed. Just sometimes, especially if your mind thinks in that kind of comedy way, you can kind of see what's coming.
It's still funny though, even if you get a punchline, it'll still make you laugh, even if you know what's coming.
There was like two punchlines in this show. There was a guy sitting like 3 or 4 seats down from me. And like he sort of said the setup line just as he was about to come out with the punchline. This guy was like, "Ah,
fucking dick! I hate cunts like that."
Aye, fuck them.
I'd rather
fucking arseholes, man.
Fucking
arseholes, every fucking one is.
I'd rather somebody called me a cunt than shouted out a punchline.
Oh, aye. I'd rather they Jim Jeffries'd me and punched me in the face.
Oh, aye. That was a setup though.
I don't think so.
I think it was.
I've seen him talk about it many a time. And
was it though a setup?
No. Just some guy.
There was,
and also apparently Michael McIntyre was on that same bill. Obviously, he wasn't Mr. Saturday Night at the time. He was a club guy. And apparently, like, I'm not into him now because he's that very clean family.
Okay, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but I don't really watch him. But apparently, back when he was like on the circuit, he was a fucking killer and amazing. And like Jim Jeffries, after he came off stage getting punched, came back down to the dressing room. He had like a guy with him, like fucking holding his nose with a hanky and all that. And Michael McIntyre's in the dressing room going, "See, nobody can follow me."
Fucking hell, aye.
Where was that going?
I punched a guy on stage once.
Did you?
Well, I didn't really, but I'll show you the video. There's a video that I've got, and basically, I was doing a gig at the Beehive years ago, right? Mm-hmm. You can maybe attach this video to this. It's on YouTube. Right. And basically, right, I do a lot of interaction. It was like right up the stair, and one of my mates, Gav, who's a pal that used to live in Edinburgh, don't know where he is now. He brought a pal. He was doing like he'd done a mad fighting. He was doing like stunt fighting. Right. He was like going to these stunt fighting classes. Oh yeah. You know, like kind of rolling about and all that. And I think that some of them worked in movies and shit like that. And I don't know what level they were at, but they were on to kid on fighting, basically. And there was this big guy, and I asked him, "What do you do?" He went, I'm a stunt fighter. I went, all right. Can you show me something? And all right, and they showed me how to punch him. So like I could punch him.
They do it like the kind of angle that it looks like he's standing, but he kind of moves away, right?
Aye, so I could do that, punch him, and he'd fall. It was a big guy, right? Aye. And I went, oh fucking, that's cool, man. So what I'm going to do is, and I says, listen, let's set this up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get somebody to film it. I'm going to start the material. You heckle me, and we'll start a fight. So basically, I'll see if I can find it for you. I went. He started heckling me, and I was like, "Who the fuck?" And they get quite aggressive, right? And it was quite convincing. I thought it was quite convincing. I went, "Who the fuck you talking to, you prick? Fucking come ahead!" And he stood up. And if you see the size of the guy, you know right away it's fucking pretend, because there's no way I've got this big guy. He's like little shit brick-house, and I'm like 5'8" punching this guy. So this big guy came up fucking in my face, and I fucking floored him. It was a good punch, although I didn't punch him. Aye. And I hit him when he hit the deck. And I was like, fucking yes, then we cut the thing. Aye. And I showed people that the following day. They went, holy shit. And I'd seen about the people that thought it was real. Aye. It's pretty good, man. I'll show you it after this.
Maybe that'll be your next day job. Stunt fighter.
Maybe. And do you know, I could do a fuck up with that. And do you know, I showed the guy, Peter Buckley Hill, who runs the PBH thing. Right. Who's like the guy that kind of helped, like, made that happen. He's all for looking after customers, and I was in the pub with him one night and I showed him it, and they go, okay, I went, oh, what's going on here? And I went, you can't, and he was a bit upset because like, you can't go punching the customers. And I think they probably banned me from like, performing. Aye. But then I went, Peter, it's actually pretend. Look at the size of the guy. There's no way I can punch him, but it's quite convincing. I'll see if I can find it. I maybe recreate that. Well, I'll pretend I'm punching you.
Well, speed that up.
Right.
Right, we're over the hour, and this episode needs to be released in 4 hours. We're even more last minute this week than we were last week.
But it is, Chris, we're still doing it. We're still doing one every week.
Yeah,
and it is. We're keeping each other consistent, and that's a good thing.
Yes, that's 20.
20, man. That's like 5
weeks.
months, isn't it?
Something like that.
Almost 5 months. So like January, February, March, April, May. That's fucking good going.
Not bad. If you've had any mental jobs, let us know. If it's a shite one or an amazing one, if you're an astronaut and you're for some reason watching this, let us know. Or if you're what's the worst job you can think of possibly doing?
Testing jobbies by taste.
Is there someone out there that
I don't know, I made that up. That was
if you're a jobby tester or an astronaut or anything in between, let us know.
I think like, being a police or something like that would be a horrible job, because they do a good job at the amount I'm used to get.
Well, some of them do a good job.
We just did the fuck the police moment there for Chris.
Fuck it.
No, I work with them sometimes. So
oh, fair enough. And I only done like 3. That was only 3 or 4 jobs I mentioned. There's another like 30 odd that I've not even got to.
That'll get us to episode 50.
I would be a full podcast itself. I might do a video on my YouTube just on the jobs.
Listing all your jobs. Well, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. And if you want to come and what to plug, Edinburgh Festival's coming up, 2:20 in the Banshee Labyrinth every day, if this is it. And Comedy Workshop, I've got 5 spaces left, I think.
I was going to ask if there's any left. Aye.
So that's the 2nd of June. If you're there and you want to say fuck it and try comedy, give me a shout, come and do it, and you can maybe put that link in the thing.
Aye, the link will be there.
Other than that, see you cunts later.
Cunts. Lovely people. Bye.
See you later. Cheerio.